What's up, guys? It's your boy T. Today we're going to be talking about the Borderlands movie. Now, like I said in my last video, I said I was going to talk about the Borderlands movie because I went to see it today. And yeah, it was interesting, to say the least. I'm going to just start off right here. My review, like my score, is like 4.5. 4.5 out of 10. It's not too bad. It's not too good. But, I mean, it is what it is. Now, I didn't have high expectations. And I feel like a lot of people didn't either. Some people were out of having high expectations or worried. Especially because recently, video game-based movie-based video games, video game-based movies have been doing pretty well. I mean, if you know Mario movie, you had two of the Sonic movies, they've been doing really well. So of course people have some expectations. Like the expectations have rise. This is not the old Mario Bros movie. We have higher expectations for these game-based movies. So with that being said, when you go into the Borderlands movie, keep your expectations low. Like I said before. Now let's go off the main characters. Now when it comes to the main characters, I'm going to first talk about Roland. Now Roland's played by Kevin Hart, and as many people, I had a problem with Kevin Hart playing Roland because Roland's a more serious character. Now Roland would have his non-serious quips in Borderlands 1 when he'll pick up some loot or kill somebody.
Count. Elite my ass. Elite my ass. Another notch on my weapon. Oh yeah, that was all me.
But that's not what he does all the time anyway. So it was weird to have Kevin Hart playing Roland, and that's what I wrote down in my notes right here. Wasn't bad, but the problem is that when I see Kevin Hart, I see a comedian. Personally for me, and I also believe for many others, he can't escape that prejudice that he has as a comedian. He's good for what he's doing, but they would have been better off with someone else playing as Roland. That was the issue. When I see Kevin Hart, I don't see Roland. I just don't see Roland in Kevin Hart. Now, he did what he could do, and I'll give him that, but I feel like they should have had just a whole nother actor to play Roland. There's a whole bunch of other black guys that could have played Roland. He didn't have to have Kevin Hart. Now, when it came to Lilith, I didn't really care too much about Lilith. My only issue was, I said Lilith was a weird character, personally for me, because of the actor. She wasn't bad, but I feel her character was a little too stiff, and the costume design was not the best. I would have been better with a younger actress, and I actually believe there should have been a younger actress. I believe somebody else should have been playing Lilith, because I guess they wanted Lilith to play this old character because there's one line in the movie where like, I'm getting too old for this. It's been done many times. There's like a lot of movie quips in these things, or movie stereotypes in this movie, which will get on your nerves and you will notice them a mile away. Right? Don't understand why they paint Lilith as some old woman in the movie. No offense to the actress, like I said before. It's just something that they do throughout the movie. I know most of the people in Gearbox is way older than me, but still, you did not have to do that. When it came to Krieg, I don't know how to pronounce this dude's last name, so I'm just gonna call Florian. Krieg was pretty good. Has the right build of Krieg, so he really fits the role. I personally have no problem with him with that, but the way they portrayed Krieg as just any other psycho was an L to me. Krieg's more than just a psycho, so for them not to introduce the internal monologue between Krieg's real self and his outer self would have been good to flush him out some more, instead of him just being a pet throughout the movie, quote unquote.
If I harm an innocent person, kill me. We can use that to kill the deserving. Grab it. I'm beginning to remember.
Stop it! Keep the memories down with a knife in its throat. Slash it until it bleeds thought juice across the dirt and is absorbed into nothingness. The silence! Kill it! I'll find you! Quiet noises, and I'll strangle the whispers out of you with a bounce! Ah!
The voices said empty, hollow, and thud. The voices said empty, hollow, and thud. The voices said empty, hollow, and thud!
So there's a lot of times where Krieg is really just taking care of Tina or watching over somebody instead of being a actual meaningful character. Now I get it, the movie length is like an hour 42 minutes long, so you ain't got all that time to introduce that. But I feel like you could have done it. I mean, Krieg is not just a psycho, as I said before. He has more to him than just a psycho. Now I know they did it because he's a fan favorite character. That's probably why they put him in the movie. But I feel like they could have had somebody else if they wasn't gonna do nothing with Krieg than just, because you cool with Tina like that. So yeah. And then you go to Claptrap. Claptrap wasn't bad, but Jack Black voice, bro. I said the way he portrayed Claptrap is pretty good, and he is an annoying robot we all know and love, or hate. So I will give him that. He played him well, but the voice is the problem. There were several times when he tried to make it high pitched similar to OG Claptrap, but then he would just go into his Poe the Panda bag, so it would take you out of the field. So you would be thinking, okay, hey, you know, this kind of sound like Claptrap. In the beginning of the movie, you get introduced to Claptrap when he talks to Lilith, and he does start the whole Claptrap thing, have a higher pitched voice, but as he continues to talk, it just leaves. It just leaves. Now, one thing I did like is he's a little bit on the nose. And I forgot to mention this for Creed. They did some of Creed's voice lines from the game. Now he actually had him saying it, which was pretty cool, but at the same time, a little on the nose. One of the ones like, you walked the wrong dog, stuff like that, which you walked the wrong dog, which was pretty cool. They didn't do my favorite line. My favorite line is, don't cry till I pull your lungs out through your chest. That's my favorite line for Creed, but they didn't do it. But when it came to Claptrap, they did the whole, I'm a CL4P TP steward bot, but my friends call me Claptrap. They did that. It's a little too on the nose.
Introduce myself. I am a CL4P TP steward bot, but my friends call me Claptrap. Or they would if any of them were still alive, or had existed in the first place.
But if you are going to be referencing Borderlands, you have to have those type of references like that. So I did like that. Now, my least favorite character in this whole movie was Tina. I'm not going to lie to you. Tina was played by Ariana Greenblatt. Not saying she's a bad actress or nothing like that, but how they wrote Tina, it was just annoying. All the time she keeps mentioning how she's the key to the vault, how she's special and everything like that throughout the whole movie. And it just gets annoying when you hear it throughout the whole movie. I even said this. The character herself was just annoying. I always bring it up, she's special and I'm the key to the vault throughout the whole movie. Like I said, there ain't too much we gotta say about Tina. She was really annoying, and I had an issue with them calling the dolls badonkadonks, because I'm not mistaken, in the train to cash mission, the badonkadonks were the missiles. They were the missiles, not the dolls. Now I could be wrong, but I remember them being the missiles. And then I did that mission so many times. I remember it being the missiles, so I could be wrong, but I didn't understand why they called that one doll a badonkadonk. The badonkadonk is a missile, but whatever. So let's talk about the weapons. Now in Borderlands, weapons are important. Guns are important, shields, class mods, grenades, stuff like that. Now I'm not expecting them to be going to all that type of stuff, but I'm expecting them to have a good variety of guns being used. But there really wasn't nothing special, especially because they were based off the Borderlands 3 weapon design. They're based off a lot more off the Borderlands 3 character design and game design than any of the other ones, right? So one of the pistols, the guns they mentioned, is the Infinity pistol, which Lilith has, and Marcus, which was played by a guy named Benjamin Brian Davis, who did a great job as Marcus. When I look at this dude, I see Marcus. He did pretty well. The reason I bring up Marcus is because there's one part in the movie where Lilith and the gang are walking through Sanctuary and they got these hollow masks on their face so they're not detected, because they don't want somebody snitching on them to Atlas. So they're walking through Sanctuary, and of course Marcus is there, and he sees the Infinity pistol on Lilith's hip. He's like, hey, I know you. And Lilith tried to back like, nah, I don't know you, bro. And he's like, nah, I will never forget the pistol, the Infinity. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, looking at the screen, right? And look, I guess they want to be like, hey, we know our fan base. We know our guns, the Infinity pistol, right? Fan service. But here's the thing. Nobody cared about the Infinity pistol like that. The only time people cared about the Infinity pistol is in Borderlands 2 when Doc Mercy had a low drop rate. But other than that, we do not care about the Infinity pistol. And so it really didn't make sense for them to do that. I don't know why they did the Infinity pistol. There's many other pistols that they could have did. Many other ones. There's many other legendary weapons they could have did. Because the Infinity pistol is only used like once or twice in the movie. But they ain't really used that much. And the Infinity pistol ain't that strong a weapon. They could have did the Maggot. They could have did the Unkept Herald. Or the 44 Fragum from pre-sequel. They could have did the conference call. They could have did any other weapon that people actually care about, but they didn't and chose to do with Infinity, which just don't understand. They could have did the Hellfire, and that is one of the issues. There's no focus on the guns. One of the focus on Borderlands is guns that walk. Guns, when you reload them, you throw them at them, they blow up like a grenade. Guns that can fly, known for these things. You have all these crazy designs for guns, all these crazy use cases for guns. So when you just have a gun that just have infinite ammo, it's pretty tame. And I feel like you should have expressed the craziness of how these guns can really operate. I mean, the only other unique guns you see is the Crimson Lance guns, and they're just Atlas weapons. So they're not necessarily special because they're just used by every henchman. Every Atlas soldier has the same gun. It was nice to see these guns brought into real life, though. I would give them that. All there are the same guns used over and over and over again. There's no variety. There's no different types of guns. There's a lack of different types of guns they could have used in the movie. The Gub, the Hornet, Unkept Herald, Thunderball Fist, the Logan's gun, Curve Blaster, Hammer Buster, Varuk. There's so many guns that they could have used, and they just don't take advantage of it and not showing it off, which I don't understand. The Lyuda or the White Death for people on the Xbox. There's so many things they could have showed, but they chose not to, which I just don't understand. I just don't understand why they did not. It would have been better for them to show more stuff off, but they just didn't, which I just don't get. It would have been cooler if they just showed more stuff off, show more weapons, show that you actually know these weapons. Like, why would you not reference weapons in a Borderlands movie? That is one of the important things in Borderlands. The weapons. People know Borderlands for the weapons, the crazy weapons that Borderlands has, which have caused other looter shooter games to have these unique type of guns, these unique weapons that do special things. And if they don't do it, then you know, it's kind of weird, because we're used to Borderlands. We used to have Borderlands do their things. So I don't understand why they didn't have unique stuff in the movie. Do want to also talk about the characters, the enemy types and stuff like that. The enemy types, of course, like I said again, is based more off Borderlands 3, which has a lot more variety. The Psychos had a good amount of variety. There were many other different types of masks. It was kind of like the mask from Slipknot, and also the mixture of the mask from the Swordsmith Village and Demon Slayer. So it was a good variety of masks, which I enjoy. I feel like if you're gonna have a movie, it'd be good to have variety. I know in the games, you know, they all look the same. But I was okay with the variety. Another thing too, they showed a skag or two, but they really weren't that big of a deal, which is weird to me. I don't know why they didn't show off skags. Another enemy they showed off was Threshers, and they only showed off one Thresher. You've seen the Thresher in the trailer for the movie. I mean, I don't understand why they brought up the Thresher anyway. It really wasn't necessarily. Like, they could have done any other enemy. And of course, they didn't have any rack hives, anything like that. They had racks, but they didn't want to bring up rack hives. I mean, I kind of understand why you don't want to bring up rack hives because of what they look like. And it's kind of weird to explain that one in a PG-13 movie. But so there was a decent variety of enemy types, and also Atlas soldiers. There was a decent variety, but when you really look at it, it's like 4 or 5. So it really wasn't too much. And then the skags you did see and the racks you did see, they really weren't that big of a deal. They were just there to just kind of like show, oh, this is Pandora. When it comes to the story, it's just any other cookie cutter story. Woman goes to a village or back to a hometown or a planet or whatever like that, discovers that they're really important because their mama left them a message that said, hey, you're important, you're the siren. Now, even if you didn't play the games or knew anything about the games, you would have knew already that Lilith is the siren. Because there's so many times, as I said before, where Tina's like, I'm special, I'm the siren, I can open the vault. But you obviously know that's a lie. There's no tricking you into believing it. I don't even know why they try to write that into the story. And also, while I'm bringing this up, Lilith doesn't even have her tattoos until the end of the movie, which sirens usually just have them. They just there. They're always there. But for some reason they didn't have the tattoos. They waited to the end of the movie once she opened the vault for her siren powers to just now tap in, which just don't make sense. You should naturally have the powers and the tattoos and everything like that. There's no reason why she went through the whole whole movie without having siren abilities at all. Just don't make sense. There's like some elements in this story, in the script that they wrote, that just don't make sense, especially when you already know what's supposed to happen. It's not necessary, it's not needed. Even if you're not a big fan of Borderlands, you will know, okay, Tiny Tina ain't got nothing to do with the vault. Ain't got nothing to do with the Iridians. She just don't. You can tell from a mile away. So I don't understand why they try to put that in the story. There's just some elements of the story that they did that was not necessary. It was just easy to see coming. Also, the pacing of the story is really bad. Like, there's one time where they're at Tannis. They're talking to Tannis, and we find out that Lilith and Tannis got some beef. Lilith specifically, because Tannis sent her to another planet instead of having her stay on Pandora. Solely because she did not want Lilith to be put into this whole vault race that everybody doing. But then she came back, and Lilith had all this beef for her, all this animosity. And then one scene, she upset at Tannis, then the next scene, they just over it, which made no sense. I don't know why you introduced that turmoil if you wasn't going to do nothing with it at all. It just wasn't necessary. So all in all, they needed to rewrite the story. The story is just so cookie cutter. You've seen it before over and over again in many blockbuster movies. So it's just not fun at all. Now, there are some references. They try to reference a lot of things from Borderlands, like I said before, they reference Piss Wash Gully, which is a gully that you had to jump over to get to the actual game of Borderlands 1 in the first one, which is cool. So if you play Borderlands 1, that's a little nod to you. But that's the thing, there's so many nods. There's so many nods to the old games. Like, they nodded to Costa Caverns, but it was just a sewer system. Literally just a sewer system. This is Costa Caverns. This is their Costa Caverns. They completely night and day differences. And for some reason, Costa Caverns go to Bloodshot Stronghold, which made no sense to me. I know Bloodshot Stronghold got a sewer system too, but that's a whole different sewer system though. Whole completely different sewer system. I did not understand that. They reference some other places too. They reference Sanctuary, of course. Sanctuary was in there, Moxie's bar and everything like that, of course. And if they rewrit the story and also did different characters, you could have also referenced those characters. You could have had a statue of Roland and Lilith in New Sanctuary, or in this Sanctuary if you really wanted to. You could have did that. You could have had something like a tribute to them. You could have added more things to it. You could have did these things. You could have had a tribute to Scooter. It's just, there's so many things they could have did if they did it a whole nother way that they could have did, which would have had Borderlands fans appreciative for you respecting the IP, respecting what is actually put into the show, into the games. But you didn't do that. You went the lazy route. It took characters you already have developed and made. We know how these characters sound, look, and everything. And now you're surprised that we feel some type of way about the fact that you have some of these characters played by some people. Some of these characters shouldn't have came back. Roland shouldn't have came back. Lilith should have came back. Roland's been dead for about 10 years at this point. 12 years. Lilith had been dead for 5 years. Why? Like, that's what I mean. Like, they reintroducing characters that we already know, that we've already passed. Their time has passed. Let's introduce new characters. If you wanted to keep Tina, that's one thing. You could have kept Tina, you could have kept Krieg, because Krieg ain't dead. You know, you could have kept them, but the two that have passed, let them go. You could have referenced them. You could have did a tribute for them and stuff like that, but they chose not to, and that was just a fail. Again, like I said before, they try to reference so many things, like they referenced the whole staircase thing with Claptrap. Krieg had to pick them up from the staircase. That was cool, but a lot of these references are just a little bit too on nose. Now, you can find it as a bad thing or a good thing, but I kind of did personally like some of them, especially the Claptrap ones. It was cool to hear the whole stairs, because I really did hope they were going to do that one, and they did do this. So I was happy about that. Yeah, like I said, the CL4P TP Steward bot thing, that was cool. Like I said, they do many references. They even made reference to some of the Borderlands 3 heads, like the pigeon head that Flack has, and that one head that Mose has, which is cool. They do some references, which is cool, but that don't take away from how the movie is still not the best. And it could have been done better if there was more care put into it, especially the costume designs. If you look at Moxie, not saying anything wrong with the person who played it, but the way they did her design is just bad. They could have had anybody else do it. Look at these designs that people have made. Look at these cosplays that people have done for these characters. They care tremendously about these characters. You should have got people like these people actually making it. I don't know what this Moxie is, and for some reason they had Moxie with a southern accent, which she has a southern accent in Borderlands pre-sequel. She tried to hide it and everything. She got a country accent and everything like that, but it's not southern, it's seductive. She speaks in a seductive tone, not a southern tone. Other than that, also with General Knox, I don't really care too much about them changing his gender, because these are two completely different people. You cannot tell me this is the General Knox we know and love. All right, that's two completely different people. So I'm gonna keep them separate. But I don't understand why they changed the sex. You could have just introduced a whole new character. Instead of taking a character that we already know and love, why don't you introduce another character? If this is like supposed to be General Knox's daughter, then that's one thing. But it's not even explained if it is or not. One of the things that got on my nerves the most, I don't even know why, it's not that big of a deal, but it is to me. Now, in Borderlands 1, you have to collect the vault keys, just like vault pieces, just like any other Borderlands. You got to collect vault pieces, right? And you're collecting the vault piece from this one bandit named Crom. Now, Crom is just this one unique bandit dude with a bandana who was on a Gatling gun. Okay, you kind of forget about him if you're not paying attention to it at all. He's just this one dude at the end of this valley. This cannon shooting down at you with his Gatling gun. They put Crom in Mouthpiece armor, which don't make sense to me. Crom and Mouthpiece are two completely different people. Mouthpiece is the first boss you actually fight, the first actual boss you fight in Borderlands 3. Crom is just some dude in the bandana. I don't understand why they made Crom and Mouthpiece fused together, and Crumb only has one line, and he just says, "Ah!" telling all the other bandits to attack the Vault Hunters when they are teaming up with Atlas. So it's like, I didn't understand why they even made a poster for the dude. They named him a whole different thing. And like, I don't even get it. Crumb, you could have did anybody else. You could have did Baron Flint. If you wanted somebody who reeks like power tremendously, why didn't you use Baron Flint? If you're gonna take care of this from the game anyway, you should have used Baron Flint. Baron Flint makes sense, and it would have been cool for you to reference the Flints. As we know, we have about 4 Flints in the games, because you know Zane is a Flint, a Baron Flint, Captain Flint. I think he had a son or something like that. So there's multiple Flints. You could have referenced Flint if you really wanted to. But nah, you take Crumb. Crumb. Anyway, I just want to talk about this movie. Like I said again, the movie is a 4.5. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but Jesus, this is some things they missed up on. They could have did way better, so much better. And honestly, if they just got some fans to write the script and make the movie and everything like that, it probably would have been better. And they wouldn't have spent $150 million on this movie. Now, I feel like that's going to eat up into the Borderlands 4 production, which it is. They're going to say it's not, but it is. Let's keep it real. There was only like 6-7 other people in the movie theater with me and my brother. That's it. This movie is not doing good. It's getting bad reviews. And we all know why. Because they did it horribly. And they've been working on this movie for a while, apparently. But it looks like they did it in like 2 days, in like 2 years, and call it a day. A year, call it a day. I don't know. Movie don't deserve to exist. So yeah, like I said, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but it's not the best thing I've ever seen either. Anyway, hope you have a good day. Me and Boy T. If you like the video, if you could, like, comment, subscribe. Just helps me push out my videos on individuals like yourselves. And yeah, hope you have a good day. Bye. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to mention this. First of all, how you introduce the Borderlands movie without Marcus? You introduced it with Lilith. Why is Lilith introducing the show? The only thing they did with Marcus is the whole infinity pistol thing, and the fact that he was driving the bus and picked up Lilith. That was a little cute. That was cute. I give you that. But other than that, that's about it. Bye.